The next speaker, we've been trying to actually have her present before, and that unfortunately didn't work out. And fortunately, we were able to get her this time. The numbers are hidden heroes, I guess. Amanda Shendruk.
So my name is Amanda Shendruk. I own a business called Aesthetic Intelligence. I make infographics and I do data visualization. And I'm going to talk about learning to kiss. And before I get started, I'll let you know that there's actually no kissing in this so that you're not horribly disappointed later. So we live in a world of information overload. Each day, we take in about 11.8 hours of media information. So this is how it's broken down approximately. And that's a lot of information. A lot of it is useful, but a lot of it is just really, really useless. And it can also be incredibly overwhelming. It can lead to something that people have started calling information anxiety. And this is a term that some use to describe our attitude between the volume of information that we take in all the time and our absolute inability to deal with it. And so I think that this is kind of where I come in and where my work comes into play. I make, like I said, infographics. This isn't one, this is a whole bunch of infographics I've made. But my job is to visualize information that facilitates understanding. And partially, frankly, I make these, or I got into them because I feel I have information anxiety. I am stressed out all the time by how much information is online, how much information is everywhere, and I want to know it all, and I can't. And so I make infographics, and I have a number of clients. A lot of them are in the media, so we've got Global News and Ottawa magazine here. I work with the federal government. I have a number of clients that are corporate clients, but they all have one thing in common, and that is that they all have data or an idea or a concept or something that they need to visualize and clarify and get across to people simply and at a glance. This is about Batman. Now, you may look at my infographics and think, well, they don't look quite what I see on my Twitter feed or on Facebook. That's what these are, and mine aren't quite like that. There's nothing wrong with these. But I think that they are excessively over-designed. There's far too much unnecessary information on them, and there's a lot of visual clutter. And that's fine, but I think they actually add to information anxiety. And they add to something that people have started calling the crisis of complexity. And there's a book coming out about this really soon. And this idea is that there's not actually too much information out there, but it's just all so complicated. And that's because of legal language, clutter, bureaucracy, visual mess, and just a general lack of inefficiency in our inability to deal with all the information. So I advocate KISS. And maybe some of you have heard about this before, but it's keep it simple, stupid. Or keep it simple, sweetheart, or keep it super simple, whatever makes you happy. But it started with an engineer at Lockheed Martin in the 1950s, kind of coined this phrase. And it's like in a world of so much so much unnecessary complexity and so much information, I think we can benefit from some simplicity. And so let's introduce some more simplicity. And that's what I do all the time in my work. And I try to keep phrases like simplicity is the ultimate sophistication and the KISS concept in mind at all the times when I'm working. And when I talk about simplicity, I don't really mean the basics. I mean more the essence of something. So here's a graphic I created about coffee prices in Ottawa. And one way that we can get to the simplicity of something, we can take everything that's unnecessary away. So just take away everything until all you are left with is the important bits and the essence and the real meaning of something. For example, this is a graphic about solar countries and how much solar energy they produce, and I could have put, a map of all these countries and, suns everywhere and all different kinds of stuff, but I feel like that is more simple because every single thing in the graphic means something. Everything has a meaning. Another way that we can keep it simple is to empathize with our audience and know what they want. And this graphic had a Canadian audience, so you highlight Canada, you put a big Canadian flag in there, everybody gets what they want out of it, and they can go further with it, they can get more information, but simplicity is knowing what somebody wants and giving it to them. Here's another one. It's after the NHL lockout, a whole bunch of teams started giving out. They wanted people to come to the game, so they had, stuff that they were giving out. And I know that I had a Canadian audience. They want to see their favorite teams, which are likely Canadian, not always. So that's what you highlight. Another thing is that simplicity is not doesn't necessarily mean super complex. Simplicity can be a bit complicated. It can have depth and richness. And there's a lot of information in this graphic about the safe injection sites when they were having that debate in Toronto recently. You can put a lot of rich information under a simple exterior. This is trying to explain what was going on with the Senate, with the Mike Duffy stuff. And it looks kind of complicated, but the whole situation was ridiculous. And this is a very simple way to show it, actually. So there's a guy named John Maeda who wrote a book about the 10 laws of simplicity, and his 10th law is this, and I love it. Simplicity is about subtracting the obvious and adding the meaningful. And I do that every day in my work, and I like to think that we could do it more in our lives. We could take the KISS concept and apply it a bit more to our lives. And I think two things in particular from what I talked about today, reduction, only have the essence there. And I got Gordon Ramsay there because I started watching that show recently, and he talks about, only make something out of 4 ingredients and keep it simple and let the flavors come out and have the simplicity. So reduce till you've just got the essence of something. And the other one is clarify. Whether it's in your relationships, whether, in all aspects of your life, in your work, with your interpersonal communication, remove confusion, explain, empathize with people, try to understand what they want, and it really makes things so much more simple. So I think that if we can all keep in mind what I think about when I do my graphics, subtract the obvious, add the meaningful, and go out and kiss. Thank you.